Well, we'll know more tomorrow. He's pretty stiff right now, he said. So he just said during the inning, he threw one of the pitches in the sixth and kind of felt his back tighten up on him. So he came in and actually, he was coming up to, when he was getting close to getting up to hit, he told Dan his back was getting tight, so we took him out.
Is this the same thing as spring, or is it somewhere different?
It's somewhere different. This is in his lat.
That sixth inning there, we saw a bunch from you guys last season. It was almost a trademark of the team. You give up a lead and you come right back. Is that good to see this early on, that you guys have the same mentality, it seems?
Well, it is, Steve, especially at this particular time of year because we've had such a strange week. You know, you've played 2 games in 6 days. You know, there's not a lot of rhythm going on. So I thought that we put some very good at-bats on. We just, we got some pitches. We didn't do much damage with them until late in the game. But I thought there were some very, very good at-bats in the 6th and 7th.
Terry, a lot was talked in the offseason about Michael Conforto having at-bats against left-handed pitching. He comes up in a big spot, comes up with the big hit. I mean, is he a guy that you think will consistently be able to hit those southpaws that way?
Well, I don't know, Rich. We've made a decision, when we face left-handed starters that, Juan's going to play because Juan has good numbers against left-handers. And so, this was a particular situation of the game where I thought he could hit. Had we not scored more runs, we were going to double switch in that spot anyway and get Juan in the game. So, he and Lucas both are going to, face some lefties. And I'll tell you, one of the big hits was Neil Walker, who's, in the past has had some struggles against lefties. And if we can get him swinging the bat right-handed, boy, I tell you, the middle of that lineup is going to be pretty good.
Hey, Terry, a couple of quick ones. How much better do you feel your middle defense is with Walker and Cabrera? They made all the routine plays, but Cabrera also did very well to the left and to the right.
Well, he's played very, very well. That was a great play he made up the middle. And they played well together. They're veteran guys. They mesh pretty easily. We made some plays in Kansas City, some double plays in Kansas City we haven't made in a while, and so that's those are positive signs.
So you think that's a big uptick for you?
Well, so far it's been good, yeah.
And on David Wright, what's your plan on playing him forward? Will he play day game after night game, like Saturday to Sunday, or how do you want to rest him?
Well, Barry, we're gonna obviously each day is going to be different. I've already talked to David about tomorrow. The weather tomorrow is supposed to be not very good. I didn't think it was a very good spot for him to play. I kind of gave him the option. If he wanted to play tomorrow night, then he'd probably have to have Sunday, and he told me he'd take Sunday. So he's not going to play tomorrow night.
Hey, Terry. And Jacob pitched very well, obviously, before you had taken him out, but maybe a little, less than what we were used to. He was under a lot of scrutiny during spring training, velocity-wise and that sort of thing. What did you see from him and how he was pitching? Same deGrom to you, or?
Well, the velocity was down a couple of ticks, but it normally is. But his location was tremendous. Changeup was good. Used his breaking ball. Had his back not stiffen up, he'd have gone back out. But I thought he threw the ball great. I mean, really did. He moved it around, and I think as it warms up, maybe, as I told you guys before, a lot of times you have those guys that have pitched a lot of innings the year before. It takes a little time for their arms to bounce back, and but as long as Jake feels good, I think it's he'll get his velocity back.
Terry, last year you lost Matt for 2 months because of a lat injury. How worried are you about Jake?
Bob, I don't know till tomorrow. Right now I think due to the cold weather and he's iced. He says he can tell it's still stiff, but we'll be careful of him because if he's got to throw in a couple more days, and if he can't make that bullpen or if it's still stiff, we're gonna we got to find somebody to go in his spot.
Terry, you went back to Henderson there in the 7th inning. Is that an indication of how you feel like he might slot into this thing, that maybe he's your guy in spots like that?
Mark, right now with Addison we like Addison in the 8th and then Familia. So I was going to put Jimmy in the 7th inning, but as I've said before, one of the things so far, the way as well as he's thrown, there's going to be nights where hopefully you get your starter through the 7th, and then you know, if you have Jerice throw a couple of back-to-back games, you're going to need somebody to pitch the ninth inning. And if Jim continues to throw like he's throwing right now, in his, you know, the past where he's closed in the past, he's going to be able to fit right in there. So it gives us another option late in the game.
Terry, the Phillies have given an indication early in the season that they're probably going to be as bad as there was some thought they might be. Does that put some pressure on you guys to make sure you got them a lot, obviously 19 games, that you do some real damage against them this season?
Well, Joel, you know, one of the things I thought that really helped us last year is we played great in our division. We really played well in our division, and we've got to do that again. And it's not just the Phillies. We got to play. We got to beat our division like as we did last year, because it's just at the end of the season. I think that was the difference that got us over the hump. So we've got a long way to go yet, obviously, but I don't take anybody for granted. This is the big leagues, and you know, any night somebody gets a big hit or somebody pitches the game of their life, and anybody can beat anybody. So I just know that the next, you know, as the next 5-6 months play out, we've got to play well within our division, and I think we can do that.
Terry, I know you wanted to get this game over with, but in terms of the pomp and circumstance of opening day and the crowd, what were your thoughts?
Well, at first I was glad we finally got it over with. You know, as I said before the game today, 2015's over, and fortunately today, hopefully, is the, you know, we were very, very excited. A great crowd. Opening day should bring that, and obviously with what we accomplished last year, there was a lot of excitement. But we've got to get focused on the remaining 159 games now that we have. So I'm glad we won. I'm glad our fans got to see us win, are excited, and we plan on winning a lot more. But now it's the time to focus on 2016 for sure.
All right, Terry. Unique situation surrounding Jacob today. Tell us the level of anxiousness that you had knowing that he could get that call on any pitch.
Oh, you mean with the baby? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Jake made a call earlier today to his wife, and she said, not today. So we knew it wasn't coming. And then she probably knew better than anybody. So he was pretty good before the game. I went and asked him how, you know, what he thought, and he said he had talked to her, and it's not going to. She said, not today. So he said, I'll be ready to pitch.
One or two more, and then we'll get Jake.
Okay. Terry Conforto, in terms of his he had a good day today, and in terms of his long-term development, how much does it really benefit him that he's in a lineup with a lot of good veteran hitters versus when, you know, talk of him coming up last July when the team was struggling, he would have been in a situation where he's expected to really carry the team as a young player?
Right. Well, I'm sure if you sat, which I know you will, you'll talk to Michael Conforto here in a little while, and he will give a lot of credit to Michael Kadire and a lot of credit to Curtis Granderson, who he spent a lot of time with last year, especially in the second half going down the stretch, about how to prepare different at-bats, different things, you know, different keys to staying out of slumps. And he's a fast learner, but he's going to be a good hitter. He is going to be a very, very good hitter. He's going to hit homers. He's going to drive in runs. You know, right now, we kind of like the platooning thing, but Michael Conforto is going to be a good player in this league for a long time.
Terry, just one last thing on the deGrom. When did he talk to his wife and knew for sure that he was going to stay?
Why do you guys ask me that? He said he talked to her today. I didn't get the time, Dave. I should have, knowing that I was going to get that question. It had to be somewhere between 10:35 and probably 11:15.
Well, I mean,
somewhere in that.
I mean, just the time when you could at least be relieved that you knew he was going to be able to.
Well, I walked.
Stick around that
you
time.
know, as we're getting ready for batting practice today, I walked in and said, you know, have you talked to your wife? And he said, yeah. And he said, you know, she went to the doctor, and I'm going to be ready. We're not having the baby today. So
up to that point, though, he could have left, or was he already locked in at that point?
He would have, had she called, he would have left. Yeah. I'm glad that's over too. Okay, thank you.